Hey, it's my new book, 101 Uses for a Dead Democrat. A special Books in Hindsight, Deceptions of the Ages news presentation. Coming up next on Deceptions of the Ages. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Books in Hindsight, and today it is also Deceptions of the Ages news. I almost feel like a substitute teacher for one or the other, but for the length of this podcast and YouTube video on Deceptions of the Ages news, we are going to be combining the two because it is an eventful day for me, and actually it was yesterday. And I really wanted everything to have been done on April Fool's, but things got delayed. But it was a big day for me yesterday and today. And so we're going to be talking about that. But before we talk about that, I would like to send a word of, comfort to the people out in the Midwest. On my Deceptions of the Ages news channel on YouTube, I posted a video about the rough time those guys are having out there when the media wasn't even talking about it. And a lot of people caught on. And so they've been posting the news, the updates and everything on that video on Deceptions of the Ages news. So if you guys want, take a look at that. It's not so much the video, but it's the comments and the heartfelt sincerity of the people and the suffering that they're going through that really people need to take note of. So all you guys out there in the Midwest and the Heartland, our thoughts and prayers are with you. And hopefully, we're not going to forget you. Absolutely not. So, and I'm all the way out in Seattle. So everybody in between, hopefully we can, make sure you guys are taken care of. And if we don't, we're going to have to, send some letters or something to some politicians. All right. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about, if you're watching on my Books in Hindsight channel, is first of all, I never wear glasses on my Books in Hindsight thing because, I don't want to look older. But the fact of the matter is, I can't see. When I'm doing my podcast, I can't see, and I don't know if you know what it's. I mean, not that I can't see. I can see fine from far distances, but at this distance, everything's a blur, and I'm looking at my notes, trying to figure out what they say, and I've just given up. So you're going to have the glasses from now on Books in Hindsight on Deceptions of the Ages news. Well, you guys, I just basically remember everything that I'm going to say, or at least try to, if that's not obvious. All right. Well, I want to tell you guys that I've been out of, I haven't been doing my podcast. It's been like 2 weeks or whatever since I've done it. And the fact of the matter is, I've been finishing up a project. I not only do Books in Hindsight, the podcast, I've got 5 books published. And as of yesterday, I have 6. So we're going to be talking about my latest book towards the end part of this podcast, or at least in a few minutes. But right now, I want to talk to, I guess it's going to matter to both the Deceptions of the Ages news people as well as the Books in Hindsight people. And that is, I have to tell you this. I have been trying for a long time to get a Bigfoot, like a Bigfoot author, on my podcast. And I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but I cannot get one Bigfoot author. I mean, they're out there. And I'm starting to think that these Bigfoot authors are just like Bigfoot. They're supposed to be out there, but they're really hard to make contact with. So I want to send a word out to all you Bigfoot authors. I'd really like to interview some of you or one or two of you on the show if that's possible. So please get a hold of me. If you can, get a hold of me on my Books in Hindsight website. There's a contact page on there. But guys, you guys listen to the podcast. I find this Bigfoot stuff, it's fascinating. I'm up here in the Northwest. I camp a lot. I've been out in the woods most of my life. And I had one encounter. I talked about that on my Northwest Paranormal episode, but that was back in North Carolina. So anyway, I am interested in the topic, and I would really like to get a Bigfoot author on here. Now, I'm going to throw in, now that I'm talking about the Bigfoot author thing, I also would like to get a dogman. The dogman thing also fascinates me, and I'd like to get somebody who's, got a book or two out about dogman experiences, because just like Bigfoot, I have my own ideas. And I did a video on David Paulides a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. I did a video on him or about his Bigfoot 411, not Bigfoot, not Bigfoot 411, his missing people disappearances thing. And then I said, oh, well, my theory is it's Bigfoot. And then I threw in my evidence to say that it was Bigfoot. So based on that video, I had a lot of, again, this is over on Deceptions of the Ages News, my Books in Hindsight followers. If you want to check out this video, David Paulides 411 on Deceptions of the Ages News. But anyway, I had a lot of feedback on that, and people said, we have some ideas and they're not the same, and we would like to talk to you about that. So potentially I have I guess I would say a podcast guest, not an author per se, but he would like to come on and not really reveal his identity, but he would like to come on and give his opinion of this whole 411 deal, this 411 mystery, right? So we are going to hopefully get him on in a couple of days. And then I have another author. He's an investment guy that he's going to be on pretty soon. And then I have another young lady, an author that I'm trying to get booked on. And if you guys listen to this podcast, I am sending my sincere apologies. I've just been so busy trying to get this book out. So I've got it out, and now I can get back to my life, sort of, except for now I have to, of course, go out and promote the book. So anyway, that's what we're looking at in the future. And I just want to say, if I haven't said it and emphasized it enough, if you're an author of a Bigfoot, UFO authors are great. Remote viewing, anybody that has to do stuff with that, and you've written books about it, I sure like to get you on the show because I have theories that I like to discuss with you, and that stuff is very fun. And also, you seem to have get a lot more ratings, I guess, or viewers, so that always helps. All right, so the next thing is I want to talk about very quickly is I want you guys that are watching on my Deceptions of the Ages channel, and you guys that are watching on Books in Hindsight, what we're doing now is like on my Deceptions of the Ages news channel, there's stuff every day. I think, I can do 5 stories, but I have this podcast, and like I said, I write books, and I actually try to be a husband to my wife and all of that. So it's it's a tough road to hoe. So anyway, I just want you guys to be cognizant of the weather. I think that things have changed. I would like, if you haven't, if you look on Books in Hindsight, if you're watching on that, look at some of the stuff on my Deceptions of the Ages news channel. And the reason I have that channel is because there's no real news anymore. And so I just like to take the quote unquote news they're supposed to be reporting and tell you what's really going on. And I'll give you an example of that. And that is that there is a lot of suffering going on in the Midwest. There is a massive, we are being invaded on our southern border, and I don't care who you are. What are these people going to do? They have no jobs. They have no way to make a living. They're going to have to do something to survive, and that is they're going to have to go and steal, right? So the government, the media is just letting this happen, and then they have all these people brainwashed to say, oh, this is good and everything. Well, yeah, because they're saying it because they're rich and they live in a gated community, and they're terrified when they go outside. And there are so many places in our country we can't even live, and now you're going to have to multiply that, not live, I mean go. And now you're going to have to multiply that by like 10, right? So we have all these things going on. And what are they doing? They're trying to distract everybody with a puppet show in Washington, D.C. So you guys, please, there's something really weird is happening. And the weirdest thing that is happening is that there are people that actually don't see a problem with this fake collusion thing. They don't see a problem that after all this, the media is still telling the same lie. And they don't see a problem because they don't understand history, that this has all happened before. Nobody sees a problem with that. So you have to be really careful of that. And if you haven't gone back and read William L. Shire's The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, you will see exactly the same thing happening with these leftists. And remember, those were National Socialists in Germany. That's what Nazi means. Surprise, surprise. So I'm not trying to be political here or anything, but I do want you guys to know that there are some weird things going on. And along that line, it's so depressing. It's so sad. And so I just thought, well, why not try to lighten people's mood a little bit, and why not try to write a book that would maybe make people laugh? And so for the past, it's been an idea of mine for a while, but and I don't need to, I guess it's not too far-fetched to see what the inspiration of this would be, but this has been an idea of mine for a while. And I just, last 2 weeks, I said, okay, let's do it. It's not a big project, but there's I have other things going on. So it's about 101 pages. And the title is 101 Uses for a Dead Democrat. Yes, 101 Uses for a Dead Democrat. Now, you might say, well, now that is kind of an odd title, and yes, it is. And why would I write a title like that? Well, the first reason I would write a title like that is because I need to sell some books. I want to sell some books. And not only that, I see that people in the media, they say something really outlandish, right? And then they get to be the focus of Twitter, right? So I just said, well, you know what? I'm going to do an experiment. Because, see, I'm not rich. I'm not, I'm medium. Well, okay, I'm good looking, all right? At least to myself and people that don't have very good vision. But I'm not one of these glamour people. I'm not a rich person. I'm certainly not a Clinton or an Obama. I didn't make millions in the political world, so I just don't have the political influence that these people have. And so I just wanted to try and see, based on the fact that these comedians, whatever, they say these outlandish things, and then they get on TV, and or they're all, everybody's talking about them on Twitter. So I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to see if I can just say something that is just completely outlandish and see if anybody pays any attention at all, besides maybe the Secret Service. So that is the title of my book, 101 Uses for a Dead Democrat. Now, in a few minutes, I am going to go ahead and I am going to read you a little bit, some of the excerpts from 101 Uses for a Dead Democrat. But right now, I want to just talk about the book itself, and I just want to reassure people that it is meant as in pure light, as you will see and as you will hear when you hear me reading it. It's not so much about Democrats. It's more about our society. It's more about the world we live in and work in. And so I think that people are going to have their, initial reactions because of their political affiliations. Because everybody that, like I know, I'm obviously wearing a red shirt and I don't have a MAGA hat, but if I did, I might be wearing it. And I have had people, as soon as they hear it, say, I'm buying that. I have to have it. And so it's not expensive. Like I said, it's a small book. You can read it in like an hour or two. And you can, I'm sorry, if you're like down in Arkansas, around Mina or whatever, maybe like 5 or 6 hours. But everybody else, just about an hour or two, maybe 3. And it's meant to make you smile, nothing else. So I just want people to understand that. And in a little bit, I'm going to talk to you about where you can get it. All right. So the first thing that I want to do is, when we're talking about the book, is hopefully I can find it. This is the first time I've ever actually, I'm recording this, and I'm so superstitious. I never wanted to do this with a live person on. So I'm going to do it now, but I'm actually looking on my computer, and I am looking at the book itself. And like I said, it's only 101 pages. The type is not too small. It's fairly big. No pictures. And I just want to say this now. I did want to do pictures. I did want to have illustrations, but there's only one person so far. I mean, if you're an illustrator and you're out there and you want to collaborate on this project, I would love to release a illustrated version. But the only person I can think of is you, Gary Larson. Gary went to Wazoo, Washington State University. He spoke at my graduation. And Gary Larson, Far Side Gary Larson, if you're out there and you want to collaborate on this, we can also do a Republican one as well. Hit the independents, the libertarians, the Greens. There's no limit, right? So if you're out there, Gary Larson, if you're listening to Books in Hindsight or watching Deceptions of the Ages News, please get a hold of me and let's collaborate. I'll split the profits with you, like, I don't know, 20, 80, me 80, you 20. No, I'm kidding. Whatever you want, I'll do, because you're Gary Larson. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, please Google the Far Side, Far, F-A-R, Side, not Hindsight, but Far Side, and find Gary Larson's hilarious, nothing ever like him comics. Nothing like him ever. Never was, nor will ever be. All right. So, of course, I have to answer the question, since that I always ask my podcast guest, and that is, well, why do you feel qualified to write the book? And I would have to say I feel qualified to write the book because I am basically a smart aleck. I take few things very seriously, and although I may appear to at times, I assure you inside I am thinking something completely different than might be on the surface. So that is one, and the other is that I actually have a brief political background. I don't know how brief I would say. I was president of my junior high school in Sequim, Washington, back in the 8th grade. And I was junior class president in 11th grade. And after that, I was advised not to run for the school president when I was in the end of the 11th grade. So, and then that was just a personality conflict between my principal and I. And then last summer, I ran for the United States Senate. That's right. I ran in Washington State, and I got between, I think, 7,000 and 8,000 votes, I think, which I guess isn't too bad. It's better than one or two. But I thought that was cool that 7,000 or 8,000 people are smart enough to know that I should be the senator from Washington State. Who knows? Maybe in the future, I can get in even more to be convinced I should be the governor, and we can fix this lousy hellhole. All right. So, and I say that in all jest. All right. So anyway, yeah, there's my background in politics, and then so I have a big, I have a lot of history. I've studied history ever since I could read. I only read history. If it didn't happen, I don't really care about it. And so I see things, I see what's going on, and I go, oh my gosh, So it's really frightening, and it's terrifying, it's depressing. And you see some of these people in Washington, and they're so rich, and they're getting rich just because they're making it so difficult for the rest of us. And so it's so depressing, and I don't want to keep saying how depressing it is, but so I wrote 101 Uses for a Dead Democrat. And don't get me wrong, I don't like a lot of Republicans. I mean, and this is not about like or dislike. This is just about people being able to vent steam, people being able to say, ha ha, okay, that's funny. That makes me feel good. So I don't feel so bad about what's really going on. That's really what all this book is about, is these sad people and these people that don't have anything, and these people that are watching it get worse every single day. And these people have nobody to vote for and nobody to speak for them. And this is a way for me to say, here, just laugh a little bit and try to make it better tomorrow. But that's all this book is. So I'm sure that, well, I'm not sure. I don't know who could take any, offense with it. But if there are those people that are offended by it or don't like it or whatever, then, what can I say? You can't please everybody. And I just please myself. I get a good laugh every time I read it. So that's really all that I care about. And I also care that I educate people when I write. So last thing that I'm going to talk about, I hope I didn't say that too loud. I think I hurt my own ears when I said it. The last thing I want to talk about is one of the more serious aspects of this book is in the introduction, I want to warn you, where you have the dedication. Well, I did dedicate this to Seth, and I want everybody to know that, yes, in fact, that is Seth Rich that I dedicated it to. And if you don't know who Seth Rich is, he mysteriously was killed. I believe he was shot in the back on his way home from work late one night in Washington, D.C., and it turns out that he was leaking documents to WikiLeaks because he was actually a Bernie Sanders supporter, and he knew that Hillary Clinton had stolen all of Bernie Sanders' votes, funds, whatever. So he was killed for that. So the the list of the Clintons, of people who have died mysteriously associated with the Clintons, now is, I saw on Fox News or whatever, I'll put a link to something if I remember, but is now 47. 47 people have died mysteriously. 47 people. That's like two classes full of kids, right? And 47 of those classrooms just don't exist anymore. All these people that had something to do with the Clintons. So I'm not saying the Clintons had anything to do with it, but people are saying and suggesting that they did, that there is a strange coincidence between the high number of people who die and their relationship with the Clintons. So that's a little bit of the serious side of the book, because that's something that is just a horrible tragedy in itself. And I'd like people, maybe the rich family, my condolences to you. And if I make any money from this book, I will be happy to do something to help you. I'd like to help people in the Midwest and all that, but I hate to say, if I make money off this book, then I'm going to help people, because what if I don't make any money off of it? Then I, can't help anybody. So, but if I do make money off of it, I definitely will send some money to, if I can find the rich family, and if I can find a way to help people in the Midwest, I certainly will. And I'll send a lot of money to Judicial Watch. But all right, so the next thing I guess we're going to do is we are going to jump into our book. So what I'm going to do now is, while you guys are sitting there watching me, I am going to, and I'm really not trying to kill time here, I'm going to put on my screen recorder so that I actually can get, I'm going to do this one when we do our how to get the book, I guess. So I'm not going to do this now, so I'll cancel that. All right. So we are going to jump into 101 uses for a dead Democrat. Maybe I will. I'm just going to record this. How about that? So, screen recording. Now, don't try to steal this. I mean, I don't want to see this on YouTube other than my own video. I don't want anybody publishing my book from what they see of this brief glimpse at it. But anyway, so here it is. Forward. Please regard this book as nothing more than comic relief for the beleaguered American body politic. Our politics, which used to be the inspiration of the free world, have sadly devolved into a game played by rich half-wits who have inherited enough money to get elected, or who made enough backroom deals to get voted into public office. Then there are the Democrats. They lack the sophistication and the civility that comes from a formal education and a moral upbringing. Today's millionaire Democrats don't seem to have any real concept of economics, the U.S. Constitution, or history, except they somehow know how poorly their ancestors or somebody's ancestors were treated somewhere. The only reason many Democrats found their way into office is the crimes they committed are still in the cold case stages. Add to this the sad fact that there is a population of souls somewhere who, for some reason, may or may not have voted for them, and you have a real modern American tragedy. I hope this book will allow those few who get a chance to read it a brief respite from the animosity, the viciousness, and the lack of integrity that has become our society and our political system. Whether you are a deplorable Republican or a demented Democrat, it is my sincere hope and prayer that I will be able to put a smile upon your face before you get angry and say something bad about me or my book or my dog on Twitter. Finally, I want to emphasize again, this book is meant to entertain, to amuse, and to give the reader a much-needed laugh. I understand where certain conservatives might regard this book as wishful thinking. However, nowhere and at no time is this book meant to be anything more than sophomoric wit and lowbrow entertainment. I should also add with great emphasis, it is not meant as a how-to manual of any sort. Rather, consider it more of an elaborate, practical joke. All right, that is the beginning of the foreword, and I would like to get our president to try to get him to do the foreword, but we're going to have to see if that's going to be possible. So I don't want to go too far into this book because I don't want you guys to, somebody might be out there trying to steal it and sell it in China or something on the black market. So let's just go to, this is chapter 2. This is vacation tricks and treats. And these are kind of hacks that you can perform, you can do if you have a dead Democrat. We started off by talking about that staycation. You don't want to actually go out and spend a bunch of money and travel around. So you can use these dead Democrats to create the kind of tropical or island or historical paradise that you want. So let's look at what happens with our chapter on vacation tricks and treats. If you're not the type to sit at home on your holiday, but need to feel the wind in your hair, the surf in your face, and see the wide open spaces, there are fewer devices as versatile as a dead Democrat to really spice up your next getaway. A dead Democrat is a virtual Swiss Army knife with uses ranging from capsite lamp to flotation device, as well as dozens of other vital uses. Of course, the ideas listed here are going to be limited, but I am sure there are many other ideas you can think of as you continue to read. This is the best way to get the most out of your dead Democrat by using your own ingenuity. So whether you are on holiday tanning on a Caribbean cruise, cooking marshmallows at your Yellowstone campfire, or running from naked hillbillies in Tennessee, you're going to be glad you brought your dead Democrat with you wherever your adventures take you. Should I go a little? All right, I'll do just one more paragraph. Next paragraph, surf's up. If you're going to hit the beaches off La Jolla on the Pacific, or try your luck at the East Coast at Myrtle Beach, you're going to need some definite dead Democrat gear. When you're out on the beach, you won't get anywhere with the ladies if you aren't in the waves hanging 10 with the surfers. That's why, when it comes to surfing and water sports, a dead Democrat will give you a definite advantage. Note, make sure before you enter the water, You have had the dead Democrat waterproofed and tested. Sometimes an air bladder that can be pumped up and deflated is the best answer. Your dead Democrat can provide years of entertainment and water sport bliss if it is first preserved, then maintained correctly. Check with your post-life professional first. All right, guys. I know what you're saying. No, but I'm not gonna read any more because there's so much more, and it's just, well, then why don't you read a little bit more after that? And quite frankly, we're just going to have to draw the line there. So I'm going to just stop this now, stop my recording. And I'm going to, I hate to have to do this, but all right. So I had to take care of that recording business. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, all right, well, sounds pretty fun. Sounds pretty exciting. So tell us, how do we get the book? Now, I'm going to tell you how to get the book, actually, right now. And I'm going to tell you how to get the book by doing another screen recording. And then this is something I'm going to put into the video, so you'll see this one in the final product. So now we are recording, I believe, and that was me. So I am looking for my website. And what is this? I don't know what any of this is. This is not at all good at all. Oh, that's not even my thing. I had something happen with my thing. So anyway, all right. So here is my website, and I'm going to have to do some serious editing of this. So this is my website. This is Heinessight.com. And this is not my website. This is my page for the 101 uses of the dead Democrats. All right. So this is my 101 uses for a dead Democrat page at Heinessight.com. So you go to here, Heinessight Bookstore, and there it is right there. Okay. So that's how you get there. That's how you get here. So you go here, and actually we're not there yet. This is my first page. So just got this out. So I just want you guys to see that if you go to my site and you get 2 books, and I'll show you my other books if you haven't seen them yet, you will get this book for free, right? So buy 2 other books, get this book for free, or pay $5.99 plus shipping and handling. All right. So this is my website here. This is me diving. I believe that is in the Red Sea. Okay, so now let's look at the books. And yes, we are on my, this is my basically bookstore. And so there is this advertisement again. And then, that link is not working. So we can't go there. What we have to do is we have to go here, go to 100 uses for a dead Democrat. And we just go here. All right. So right now, I want you to be aware that you can buy right from me direct. If you just want to buy the book and you don't want to buy my other fantastic books like this one, The Rainier Paradigm. If you don't want to buy that one, if you don't want to buy, this is for all you Deceptions of the Ages news people. There it is, the book, the legendary book. And I want you guys to notice it's hindsight, right? So always 2020. There's my podcast. But let's go back to 101 uses for a dead Democrat. So, all right, as of right now, you can buy from here. And if you don't want to buy 2 books, then you can just buy this book $6 plus shipping and handling and taxes, whatever. All right, so it'll probably cost you about $10. Or get it for free and get 3 whole books. Then you can also order Amazon. This is the print edition, and this is the Kindle edition. Now, be advised, on this page at Heinessight.com, bookstore, and 100 Uses for a Dead Democrat, you will see tomorrow iTunes will be up, and Kobo's not up yet, but they will also be there. And, of course, these books are always available at Barnes & Noble. So now you should have a very good idea about how to get 101 uses for a dead Democrat, and you should also have a good idea about how to get my books. So, any questions? I didn't think so. All right. Well, let's just talk about the future. We are going to, let's see, today is, I think, Tuesday. I have had I'm very tired. If I don't look like I'm very tired, I am exhausted. So I will probably not post on, I might have a guest on Books in Hindsight on Friday, but I don't think I'm going to post on Deceptions of the Ages News. And so I will see you guys bright and early next week. There's a lot of news that we need to cover on Deceptions of the Ages News. We're going to be talking about Hollywood and, their reaction to, politics and everything. So we're going to be talking about that. It's going to be called Monkey See, Monkey Do, and that'll be on Deceptions of the Ages News. And like I said, for Books in Hindsight, got some great guests that are coming. So it's going to be a really exciting month. And, if you're interested in the book, please share it. I know that I'm not kidding about wanting to be able to help people. So share the book. It's only like $5, $4 on Kindle. So it's not really going to hurt you, but I'd like to get a lot of people to buy it, and not only for my own financial well-being, but I'd like to also be able to send a message to certain people that, yes, a lot of people are very angry, and they voted with their, Visa card or, whatever is in your wallet. But these people are very angry, and they're showing they're angry. They're buying this book. Millions of people are buying this book just so they can have a laugh, because this is what these people really think of the people in Washington, D.C. So it'd be really nice if you guys would send that message. I mean, and it'd be nice to get these people to wake up and do what we want them to do. But otherwise, it'd be nice just for me to be able to take some of the money that, I make and turn around and help other people with it. So I will just have to say to my Deceptions of the Ages News channel people, I appreciate you guys. Well, also my Books in Hindsight people, I really appreciate you guys sticking by me. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate your comments. I know it's not like a perfect podcast. It's not a perfect channel. It's just me doing it. But I'm just trying to get the news out there. I'm trying to get my books out there and trying to, sustain myself as well as what we're all trying to do. So I will just say then to my Deceptions of the Ages viewers, this is Deceptions of the Ages News, and we'll see you next time.